everybody, welcome to Niko Nerd Tech of Tomorrow, and this is my review on one of my favorite phones of the year, the OnePlus 3. So let's start with getting the specs out of the way for this beast. We have the Snapdragon 820 CPU, the Arduino 530 GPU, a 5.5-inch 1080p AMOLED display, and I'll show you later, I love how tiny the bezels are on it. It has 6 gigabytes of LPDDR4 RAM, more than just about any other phone currently out of the market. 64 gigabytes of UFS 2.0 non-expandable storage, nice and fast, and since the only base model is 64 and they don't have any other storage capacity, I kind of like that they start at 64. It's a really nice starting point. You don't have to worry about paying more for slightly more storage like you would with most other phones in the market. The rear camera on this is a Sony IMX298 sensor, measuring at 16 megapixels. It has OIS and EIS for image stabilization, both electronic and optical. It has an f2.0 aperture and support for raw image. The front camera is also a Sony camera. It is 8 megapixels, and it has a cool feature called Smile Capture. It will detect when you're actually smiling and start a 3-second countdown, and it actually works quite well. I've used it a couple times. The speaker is a bottom-facing speaker. I really prefer stereo. I don't really like the bottom. Just about every other phone out right now has just a bottom-facing stereo. It's one thing that I really do have to give the iPhone 7 credit for, is they finally started doing stereo speakers, even though one is bottom, one's front. This also has a 3000 milliamp non-removable battery. So, as for features for this phone, the build quality is amazing on it. This device is all machined from one solid piece of aluminum, and you can tell when you hold it in hand. It's very solid, it's not overly heavy, but it's also incredibly thin. This device is just really, really nice build quality compared to most of the devices in the market right now, especially for its price tag. Another really cool feature of this device is dash charging through USB Type-C and the charger included, or you can buy a car adapter for it as well. Dash charging can go from 0 to 63% battery in half an hour. They have a whole tagline of days power in half an hour, and they're not joking. This phone, I have to give it credit for single-handedly changing my charging patterns and charging habits. No other phone I've ever had, I've been able to charge it like this phone. I get up in the morning, I go take a shower and plug it in just for that half-hour time frame, come back and I'm good to go for most of the day. When I get back later in the evening, I plug it in for 15-20 minutes while I'm just sitting around, and then it's good to go again. That speed of charging is personally far more valuable to me than having a 4,000 or even larger battery that some other folks are trying to put in their phones right now. This just makes it really useful for how fast this thing can charge. It's at 5 volts, 4 amps, which personally I like a lot better than how Qualcomm's doing their quick charging. Qualcomm just puts a lot of voltage through the phone instead, and that ends up resulting in a lot of heat, some battery damage, and it's just not as fast overall. They're just trying to make the lanes of traffic go faster instead of adding more lanes. The higher amperage on this adds more lanes to that traffic, so you're able to get through a lot more power. So in total, this thing charges at 20 watts, which is notable to MacBooks charge at usually around 60 to 80 watts. So it's taking up a fair amount of power, but that's why it's able to charge so fast. Another amazing feature on this phone is how fast the Fingerprint Reader works. So at the bottom, we have your back button, capacitive, and multi-window, or multitasking. The home button does not click. It just is a ceramic touch sensor, but it is incredibly fast. It will light up faster than any other phone that I've ever used. And anytime I show someone this, they just ooh and ah at how fast that it actually is able to open. You are able to select if you want on-screen buttons instead, and you can change the order of these bottom buttons. You can have the lights light up if you'd like. It's very customizable in that sense. Another one of my favorite features of this device is the dark theme. So dark theme allows for the whole menus and everything in here to have a dark black UI instead. You can also change the color accent. Right now I have a pink hue to it, but you can change that as well. It's really nice for customization, and personally on AMOLED screens, I hate having white menus. Take advantage of that nice contrast and true black that AMOLED has and have a dark menu like this. Another cool thing that OnePlus does for their phone is it comes with a pre-installed screen protector. It's nothing special, it's not tempered glass, but it is a nice screen protector. I actually had it on for the first month and a half that I owned this phone, and I absolutely love it. I really wish more companies would add that 3 cent or less extra feature to it that just gives you some time before you can get an official one or a nicer one, so you don't have to worry about scratching the screen right away. Another cool thing, this phone is dual SIM capable, so you can have 2 SIM cards in it. It is a GSM based, however I did use it on Verizon for a little while. You just don't get all 4G LTE speeds and bands. It has really good customization. I can tell it to go calls and texts through one SIM, data through another, so it's really, really useful if you have multiple carriers or a work and home SIM. That's a really nice feature on this phone. So cost for this phone right now is $399. It comes in graphite and soft gold. Last I checked, the soft gold's out of stock. It does look really nice. Even the graphite here, though, it's just really nice machined aluminum. My final thoughts of the phone is I absolutely love it. This is easily by far one of my favorite phones of the year. It's just so fluent. No, it's not waterproof. It doesn't have a Quad HD display, but it does what it offers very, very well. The quick charging, the fingerprint reader is all really, really nice. I really would like a slightly nicer speaker on it, but it's by no means a sacrifice on the phone itself, considering it's only $399 as well. 6 gigabytes of RAM in it, and I can run many, many games at the same time. There was some talk on it not using the full 6 gigabytes of RAM. However, so it started off using around 3, and they actually updated it to utilize a little bit more of that. You can go in, there's a developer webpage for it that can actually show you how to go in to unlock and use full 6. It's really just for battery consumption, but as their software updates come out, they get a little more efficient, so they're able to use a little bit more. I don't see it as nearly a problem. It's not by any means canceling on applications like the memory leaks in most Samsung phones prior. I think it still works just fine. Now, if you have any questions on the phone, feel free to comment. Besides that, the camera quality. The camera quality is really nice in this phone. It takes great photos very quickly and easily. Actually, I have double click to open up the camera here, and we have usual different options: time lapse, slow motion, photo, video, manual, panorama. My one complaint on the camera's end is that we don't get 1080p at 60 frames per second, only 30. You can go down to slow motion and do 120, but it doesn't play back normally. And 4K video recording is great. I really prefer 60 frames at 1080p. It just looks so much smoother in every aspect. The launcher on this that comes in the phone also supports custom icon packs, which is really nice. You don't have to install a third-party launcher over what you already have here. Well, thank you for watching my review on the OnePlus 3. I hope you enjoyed it. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And if there's anything you think I could improve on, I would love to hear from you. Till next time.